The Banger Cruise.
These boys seem quite helpful. After all, we met them driving to a car show in Dublin, and they were keen enough to tell us all about the modified car scene. Good build-off candidates, I think.
I'm Rocco, I'm from Bangor. I'm the owner of bangercruise.co.uk and I've been deemed the project manager. We've picked a 1996 Vauxhall Tigra. A lot of people will see it as a Corsa in a skirt. We've decided to go with ours in a Cali style, which is bright paint, bright wheels, very classic. What we're doing to the Tigra is we're converting it into a pickup. It will, as far as I know, be the only one in the United Kingdom. There's a few in Europe, but I've never seen it done before. And we thought that was a real good idea.
I'm Stephen Dobbin, I'm from Newton Ards and I paint cars, unfortunately. I've done it for 6 years now. Right, this is car we're doing. As you can see here, there's rust and you can even see that's flaking off. That's going to be a big problem for me. Hopefully when I grind that down, it's not going to go into holes, or hopefully not into holes because it's a whole lot of work. But then look down here, I had a look around it earlier and it's really bad, and I've actually had a screwdriver and as you can see it goes straight into it.
Project manager really just sits down, does the plan, works out what the deadline is and keeps everyone on track, hopefully. We'll soon find out.
My name's Stuart Martin, I'm from the Donald and I'm a mechanical engineer. I think I'm officially the part-timer of the group. I'm here hopefully just to lend a hand as best I can because I'm not going to be here too often. The car, it's reasonably readily available. It's a nice shape to work on. Parts are cheap. It's a really nice blank canvas. I think anything we're going to come across in terms of problems will be mechanically. The engine has seen better days. While it is running, it is a bit tired.
My name's Ryan McNameel. I work for a property developer doing computer design. The trouble with doing any kind of car for the show scene is trying to do something different, which is why the Tigra stood out. Just a small sports coupe. I reckon we can do plenty to it.
My name's Chris Patterson, I'm 16 and I'm from Newton Ards. Just prepare cars for Stephen the paint. Hard work, so it is, but it's interesting and it's lots of fun.
My name's Jamie Ferguson. I live in Newton Ards, just 5 miles down the road, and I'm a company director in my own company. We've got ourselves the Tigra, and basically it was a cheap car and we wanted to pick something that hasn't really been done too much, so we know we're going to just clean it up and sort of try and make it very different and individual as opposed to anything else that's going about at the minute, so it should be a good project.
I'm going to take this door, Carl. I'm trying to get these seats out, but we're trying to fight over tools at the minute. So.
My name's Jim, I'm a civil servant. I live in Donegal, which is only a few miles down the road. And I'm into cars. It used to be that car came first and any spare money that I had would be spent on the car. But these days I have to give it second place to the wife and kids.
Well, my wife and I have been together since I was 17, so she's kind of grown up with it as well, so she's completely used to it and understands the sort of culture of it, I suppose, because it is a way of life. And my oldest daughter, she's 19 months and she's starting to love getting into Daddy's car and hates it when I go out without her, so I had a crying match this morning coming down here.
Next week, the boys rub their fingers to the bone as the paintwork gets taken back to the metal. This is one of the teams, Bangor Crews. They're modifying a Vauxhall Tigra. They've stripped the car completely and are now sanding it back to bare metal.
My name's Lee McRae, I'm from Bangor, I'm 21, and at the moment I work for insurance brokers.
Looks like a sign saying, keep hands off.
My official role is the fixer, to try and blag as much as I can for as little as possible.
It's now 5 weeks into the 4-month challenge, and there's been an exciting arrival.
Well, our wheels have arrived. They came from the States originally. I traced them through a load of forums, finally found the guy, offered money, and here they are. As far as I know, they're the only set in Northern Ireland of 100 bar wheels.
The lads have decided on an ambitious plan to turn the Tigra into a Californian-style pickup truck. They have to rebuild the wheel arches to fit Rocco's new wheels.
Well, the wheel arches are cut here for, as you'll see, the wheels will stick out past the arch. So we're going to have to make the arches for the wheels. Basically, I've already cut the slices to make it wider. Just basically pull them out. So take the width of the wheels.
While Stephen widens the arches, Ryan is putting his design skills to the test with the structure of the pickup.
The idea is that we've made this cardboard template, which we're going to take away and get a sheet of metal cut to the same size, which then will be welded in, and that'll form the back wall, the pickup, essentially.
A week later, and while they still manage to laugh, it begins to dawn on them how much work there is to do.
I would say after a lot of weeks yet, still a lot of work to go on with the rear arches.
We're not using fiberglass, we're using like fleece material. And then we can take up the shape that we need it. And then once we put this over the top of it, it goes hard. Then you rub it down with sandpaper because it's hard. And then put another layer and just keep building the layers up until eventually we've got a good base for the ice upon filler to go over the top of. And then eventually we flatten like the arches and paint it. It's very exciting stuff. It's like Blue Peter. I should have made one earlier and I could have showed it to you. There you go, sir. Back glass. Drink up.
My job for today is applying the resin onto the felt here in the hope of making our beautiful walls for the side of the pickup. Well, this is helping to give us the shape of the walls. The idea is that the resin gets layered on and flattened down until we eventually get the curved shape we want. There's an awful lot of work involved in this and getting it perfect. That's why the first layer. This is the very, very early stages.
The Tigra is housed at Stephen's body shop. He's the only pro on the team. The rest, like Jim, are learning as they go.
It's obviously something I'd never get to do during a normal day because I work in an office, but it's been brilliant to learn how to do it and have a bit of crack along the way.
There's wee down there, so it's going to need filled anyway.
Well, we're trying to make sure that the door's straight, sanding it. As we sand, any of these spots that stay will show us where there's dents or parts that need to be filled in. It should be a very special car, something to be proud of.
Next week, boredom sets in.
As you can see, I'm really enthusiastic.
Bangor Crews are modifying a Vauxhall Tigra into a surf-style pickup truck. So far, the car's been stripped, the wheels have arrived, the arches are being flared, and the pickup section of the rear has been designed. They're 2 months into the 4-month timescale, and they are still rubbing down.
My only problem is my hair is absorbing all this dust like a great big sponge.
Because they've removed the entire back section of the Tigra, they need to weld a metal plate to form the cab section.
We could use this private time to make fun of Lee.
Weapon of mass distraction. He's mostly the reason why most of us stand around doing nothing.
There's still plenty of time to mess around, although Rocco does look tired.
To infinity and beyond. Come on, reach.
So far, we're on schedule, even though there's not that much long to go before it has to be officially finished. But we've decided pretty much the whole car's in everybody's heads what way they're going to look like. Not sure if it's going to be exactly the same as everybody else's, but it is definitely getting to the same stage where I think we're all on the same page.
As the shape of the boot emerges, the lads enlist the help of welder Peter to fit the metal divider.
I'm about to cut this into slices so it'll bend down onto the metal. So young Peter over there can weld it. Whoa! Diddly-dee. Of course we'll win.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
We have the ambassador of style.
As the Tigra transforms, team leader Rocco comes up with a new name for it.
this is the California style number plate that we got printed on, Caligra, as you can see, because it's a Cali style Tigra, and it's quite close to Vauxhall Calibre. It's a lot smaller than the normal size number plate. So what we've had to do is take a mould of this bit here, of the normal black bumper. So what we're going to do is just slide that over.
Meanwhile, Lee heads off to Ballymena to a supplier who's agreed to help them with the interior trim.
We're in Ballymena to see about getting a retrim done on the seats for the car. We decided that as we're going down for the nice sort of clean line look, we decided we weren't going to put any sort of aftermarket seats in as opposed to just retrimming the original seats that are there.
Yep. Give me an idea of what you're trying to create here, obviously, and recovering it in leather.
Right. Basically, the look of the car for a start is going for the California look.
Okay.
So we're up here to see Gilbert. We're going to negotiate some sort of price to do the full retrim of we're going to do the seats, the door cards, the sub box that we're going to put the sounds into, and we're also going to do the dashboard as well. What we'll do is maybe go down the cream leather and maybe use red stitching.
Nicely blends it all together.
Congratulations.
Next week, they pick a colour, but keep on sanding. Bangor Crews are modifying a Vauxhall Tigra. They've decided to go for broke and customise the car into a Californian-style pickup truck. They've been working on the Tigra for 14 weeks, and there's only 10 days to go before the show. Team leader Rocco is feeling the pace.
We're running out of time!
We've got the panic stage before, but we've never actually got beyond the panic stage, so we don't know what comes after panic.
We're not panicked. We're good.
Well, I was panicking a couple of weeks ago and had a bit of a stress out.
Yeah, he's been doing that quite a lot.
No more panic anymore. Now we've got 10 days. It's dead easy. You can win a war in 10 days.
I'm not being funny or anything, but have you seen the state of that car? I'd be panicking.
We work better under pressure. Deadlines, just some of the people don't realise that. But they will come next week when it's the final countdown.
Just drill it in. People says
They are still making bits to fill in holes. I'm feeling stressed for them. To complete the surfer look, they decided to modify a windsurfer into a surfboard for the top of the car. But even that needs sanding.
I arrive down here every night to sand this bugger. Pretty much 4 months of sanding, yeah. I don't want to sand anymore.
But after sanding comes painting.
Right, cream at the edges.
Cream.
Gold stripe, red in the middle. Cream.
Gold stripe.
Gold
cream.
cream.
Decision made, and the surfboard goes in for painting.
This part has been probably the worst for trying to get it.
Ryan's idea.
My idea has been probably the worst because of trying to get it perfect. So it has. We have someone suggested a week or so ago was like, could we not have just put some wood down and bent it to shape? Which, looking back, may have been a good idea.
There's been minimal arguments. A few lies, yes indeed. A few heated discussions about ideas, which we were going to go with things, but time's running out, so we've grouped together now, we know what we'll have to do, but there's going to be a few 24 or 48-hour sessions.
The boys needed to work out what to put on the floor of the pickup. Lee got some decking from a boat builder.
It's going to be laid in with this against the flat edge of the metal, and the only real curve we need to cut is down the bottom.
With some late nights and long hours, the boys keep themselves going with the food of kings.
Fried chicken, mainly, and chips and Red Bull and cigarettes. It was essentially the stable diet of any modifier.
More chips.
Complex carbohydrates, proteins, and plenty of vitamins.
And the Vauxhall Tigra is nearly ready for priming. Dad Jamie puts in an appearance to help.
I've been doing the family thing. Unfortunately, sort of tied up with that, so... Well, not unfortunately, no, that's the wrong word.
He's not a team player.
I am a team player.
But we thought you were part of your family too, Jimmy.
You're part of my extended family.
Oh.
What are you feeling? It's like straw now.
Finally, after 3.5 months of prep work, the primer is ready to go on.
Once I've got that primer on, most of it's going to be blocked down, rubbed down again, and basically all me, unfortunately. Late nights and a lot of alcohol. It's as easy as kissing your sister.
It's fun and games now, but 4 hours later...
As you can see, I'm really enthusiastic.
The next morning, things haven't progressed as far as hoped. The team are tired and grumpy.
Everyone's tired today after last night, but we're running on adrenaline and emotions at the minute. We were here from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. and then we ran out of materials, so we were back in here this morning at 11 to start again.
Next time, they finally get it ready for painting, and it gets christened. Bangor have been modifying a Vauxhall Tigra into a Californian-style pickup truck. They are 15 weeks into the build, but they've got a lot of work to do before they can get the car ready to be judged at a car show in Fintona. It certainly looks different. I mean, whenever I first saw this car, it's a Vauxhall Tigra.
It is, yeah.
And it's now, I mean, it's like a wee Californian truck. Your wee hands must be raw.
They are. They're sore. They're tired.
And you've got a week to go. So you're going to be pulling all-nighters, I think?
Yeah.
Right.
We were here till 4 a.m. last night.
Have you no home to go to?
I do.
I'm used to painting cars for shows the night before and panicking about it then.
So would you be the chilled out guy of the bunch? Because, I mean, with just a week to go, I imagine that people are feeling a bit sort of tense.
Well, 2 weeks ago when it wasn't even in primer hadn't even seen it. Rocco was having kittens and going, oh, we need to get this done, need to get this done.
We can't afford any mistakes.
This is going to be painted a week before. I'm going to have nothing to do next week.
Are you over budget?
We're slightly over budget. Unfortunately, we spent all our money on our luxury items.
As you do.
As you do.
I mean, if we had 20 grand, it would be a lot easier.
Yes.
So the budget was gone about a month ago. So we're actually flying our hopes and dreams at the moment.
Yes.
Obviously, none of us are getting paid for doing it.
There's times where people get pissed off, basically, and they're like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, or go in a mood and don't speak and just put their head down and work. It's just sort of like, we're all mates, you're not meant to get in a bad mood over doing this, we're meant to have a good time.
You must have had a bit of crack in the middle of it all.
No, they were all my friends to start. Now they're all just hate every one of them. Just sick of the sight of them.
The smallest thing can set each other off.
Yes.
And then you're at each other's throats.
Yeah. You're not going to agree on everything all the time, are you?
No, that's the hard part, of course, whenever you've got 7 people, 6 or 7 people, everyone has their own ideas and sort of style ideas and how things should be done, and it's just trying to come up with a decision.
Of course, every one of you is passionate about the project, so you want it to be the best. So of course, you're going to have little run-ins now and again. But you always kiss and make up, do you?
Well, we make up. There's no kissing. Manly shakes.
Hate salmon. All the prep work has to be perfect, or there's no point. So hopefully with our lack of knowledge and Stephen pointing us in the right direction, we'll get it right.
It's definitely tough work up here with the Bangor boys. Tell you, I'm exhausted just watching them. Finally, the car is ready for the paint booth and its first coat of colour. You feeling confident?
Yeah, I think what we've done hasn't been done in Northern Ireland or the UK that I know of anyway. So to be something different, I mean, anybody can just get a car and put a body kit on it and put some sound system in it, whereas we've completely restructured the whole car.
On the bodywork side of things, they're not going to touch us. No chance. The amount of man hours that went into this, they're not going to touch us.
Do you think there's no way they could have put the same amount of man hours in?
No. Not a chance.
I'm just having a little break.
Stop it.
While the boys catch some shut-eye, the car gets its name airbrushed on. They've called it a Caligra. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it next Saturday at the show, and the best of luck.
It's next. I thought it was 3 weeks away.
No. I think this guy's very confident that you're going to win, are you?
Definitely.
So, will they get it finished in time for the car show in Fintona? Have they done enough to beat Larne? We'll catch up with them later. Bangor crews arrived the next morning, looking like the Walking Dead. The judging will take two forms. The public will vote using ballot forms, and we've asked car magazine editors to give us a professional vote.
Judging means looking at the two cars and comparing the finer details. Obviously you want to look at the overall package, make sure that all the different modifications work together, but also see, are there any unique tweaks or things that are just different to what's been done before, you know?
It'd be interesting to see whether these guys went and bought off the shelf, or I suppose ultimately whether they have actually just went totally unique and just handmade something, you know?
You can spend £1,000 or, you know, £20,000. It's all about having the knowledge and the skill and just having the ideas, the creativity.
These are the judges of our PetrolHeads Challenge build-off, and it's a good time to find out what they think of the cars. First of all, Justin, what did you think of the standard today?
The standard's been brilliant today. Both cars are really, really good, you know. For what they've done in the last 4 months has been really, really special, you know, especially with the budget that they've actually got. So, no, brilliant.
I'm amazed that they got the cars together in the time period. I mean, they really did pull out all the stops. I mean, it's above and beyond what I expected.
Are you impressed, Patrick?
I have to agree with the fellas here. The standard that these boys have produced is exceptional. You have to give it to both the teams, like they've done a real good job.
Both cars have been available, like, and been for sale for the last, 10, 15 years, you know, and it's great to see both cars brought back from the dead and really fresh and really creating a good crowd, you know.
One thing I can say about both cars is just the exterior styling just seems to flow with them, and it just suits both cars. Like, the attention to detail now that them boys have is amazing.
They've worked really hard. You can see the time and effort.
For me, actually, the 106, in terms of paintwork and that, it's actually brighter, more vibrant. I actually think that car is presented maybe a little bit better than the Tigra.
Why I was drawn to the 106 because of the bright colour and the contrast and stuff, but then the Tigra, when you start going in and seeing what they actually did to make that car, I mean, there's not one piece of that car that you can buy on a shelf anywhere.
I'm sure it was very difficult for you to actually to make your mind up, but it's going to be unbelievable to tell the winners and also to tell the losers, because both these teams have worked extremely hard, but they're still the public's vote, and that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to find out what does the public think. Been helping us all day with the judging. Melissa, can you tell us what was the professional vote?
Okay, the professional vote of today's event has gone to the Bangor Cruise, the Vauxhall Tigra.
Well done, guys. Make some noise for them. Miss Northern Ireland, can you tell us what did the public vote?
Okay, the public have been voting all day, and basically by a long, long way, the public have decided that their winners have gone to the Larne Cruise.
The Larne Cruise, well done. They've had the expert vote. Larne have had the public vote. Where does your vote go?
Do you know what? This is the hardest decision. Basically, both teams have done extremely well. Like, a lot of effort has went into both cars, and it's a very, very tough decision. I'm sure it has been an amazing experience for the boys as well, but for me, if I had to pick one, which I'm so, like, it's so hard, my vote would go to Larne.
Tigra. A lot of people will see it as a Corsa in a skirt. We've decided to go with ours in a Cali style. Bright paint, bright wheels, very classic. We're converting it into a pickup. It will, as far as I know, be the only one in the United Kingdom. There's a few in Europe, but I've never seen it done before, and we thought that was a really good idea.
The Tigra was the first time I've ever been given a blank canvas and says, there you are, there's the money, do what you want.
The trouble with doing any kind of car for the show scene is trying to do something different, which is why the Tigra stood out. Just small sports coupe. I reckon we can do plenty to it.
Once they picked out the Tigra, they stripped it down.
It's all very well sort of looking at a picture of a car on the internet and going, right, we could just take this bit off and just make this. Sounds easy until you actually go, how are we physically going to make a pickup?
It was really going to be back window off, fill everything in, but when you actually came down to do it, it was a nightmare.
From a practical point of view, I've never actually worked on a car or done any body work or done any painting or anything like that, so I was quite honoured to be picked as part of it.
Turning the car into a pickup was particularly ambitious, considering all but one of the team were amateurs.
Yeah, that's all I brought to it. It was just the comical factor. I think it just brought me for entertainment.
Looks like a sign saying, keep hands on.
Comedy and probably the annoyance. Arguments, good at that. Good arguing. Always right, obviously, because I am.
The Tigra was built around a set of wheels Rocco found on the internet.
They came from the States originally. I traced them through a load of forums, finally found the guy, offered money, and here they are. As far as I know, they're the only set in Northern Ireland of 100 bar wheels.
They then set to customise the arches to fit the wheels.
They stick out past the arch, so we're going to have to make the arches for the wheels. Basically, I've already cut the slices to make it wider. Just basically pull them out. And then basically from this lip on the arch down is going to be all fiberglass to make sure it's all smooth, perfect, make it look factory.
It was Ryan's job to build the pickup section of the rear of the Tigra, building up layer upon layer of fiberglass.
My arms were killing me from rubbing after rubbing. It's just endless.
The build was housed at Stephen's body shop, and being the only pro on the team, he had to teach the others how to prep the car.
My estimations of people in the trade and that work on cars has risen 100%. Yep.
You would have had to learn how to tape up for priming, rubbing primer.
If it hadn't been for him telling us what to do, we wouldn't have known how to do it.
Weeks turned into months of sanding, which took its toll.
I was coming down 3 or 4 weeknights, and then the weekend as well, whereas some of those guys were down every night on the weekend as well.
While they had enough time to mess about, tensions grew.
A couple of people maybe not pulling their weight as much as they could have at the start. As time was, we got closer to the end, they started pulling their weight a bit better.
There's a few things I would have definitely done differently. As project manager, I would have cracked the whip a lot earlier.
Late nights and a diet of curry chips turned into a battle of stamina in the weeks before the deadline.
We've got the panic stage before, but we've never actually got beyond the panic stage. Rocco, what comes after panic? We're not panicked. Should we hit the panic button a couple of weeks ago? We're running out of time!
The build up to the show, the weeks or so before, there were some strenuous times.
Gold stripe, red in the middle, cream.
Gold stripe,
gold cream. We had arguments, but the argument always lasted maybe a day, and then the next day it was just forgot about.
I think if there hadn't been joking around, we hadn't been messing around, we probably would have killed somebody.
After thousands of man-hours and nearly 4 months of prep, the newly named Caligra was ready for its paint. And some overnight shifts saw the car ready for Fintona.
From Northern Ireland to Ireland to UK, you would never see another car like it.
And I challenge anyone to make another one, because it will break their heart every single day.
Like, some of them have learnt more from doing that Tigra than I've learnt over the whole 8 years, 7 years I've done it.
I have to say I really enjoyed it, and I will look back on it as a great experience.
I'd definitely do it again. It was good fun for 99.9% of it.
To have the car unveiled at a show and have everybody appreciate your work is something you'll never forget, really.